Welcome, everybody, to the Mental Health Hour. Welcome to episode 93. Tonight is all about ADHD. That is just my main thing.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll explain it and demonstrate it equally as well. As he gets up and walks off.
Yeah, that's perfect, right? I had to close that curtain because it was making the camera go funny.
Just demonstrating it perfectly right there, right from the get-go.
First off, let me welcome everybody in.
Yeah.
It's good to see everybody live in chat. Hi, Jim in Chicago. Thank you for the 50 bits. Michael Joseph Murray, thanks for the 95 bits. Mr. Meds here. Naomi Hattie. Tracy. Tony D. Warrior Grandma. Tracy, we got. I think we got most everybody. If I missed you, just keep chatting. I'll say hi to you. We'll shout you out. But it's good to have everybody here.
Yeah.
Gemma, you are fresh off of your ab sale.
Yeah, I think you call it rappelling, do you, over there?
Repelling.
Yeah, whatever.
We have a video to share, but we'll hold off. Do you want to give a little background, a little what it was for, and what it was like doing it, and then we'll show the video.
Yeah, so I was meant to do it last year, and it was literally this time last year, but Thomas was taken into hospital the day before, so it was put on hold. But when he was diagnosed and going through everything and was very upset, very scared, I promised him that if he got through it and did something he was scared of, with all of that, I would do something I was scared of. And he could pick. And at the time, it was either heights or spiders. And I was thinking, thank God it wasn't spiders till I got at the top of that thing. And then I thought, is the spider still an option? But yeah, I have had a crippling fear of heights all my life. I tried doing an abseil once before that wasn't even nearly as tall as that. Couldn't do it. And then yeah, when I got at the top, I just froze because it was in London and I could just see the whole of sort of London. It was like, oh my God. And then having to walk backwards to the end of the building, lean back, and then you had it so your head was below your feet, and then just let go. And I think it was 370 something feet tall. And then you go. And then I think I got just over halfway down and could see the ground. And then I just bombed it down the rest of the way. I thought, I can see
when we learned how to rappel in my ropes class, they said you come out of the window and you just have to like take a seat,
Yeah.
Like you're sitting down. Anyway, let's show that video real quick. It's about a 3-minute video, but here's Gemma doing the abseil for Thomas. And that's that video.
Med edited it a little bit so that you didn't get all the messing around because I was genuinely terrified. But it's over 370 feet tall, and you can see right at the top the walk stand there, kind of sit back, and then just let go. I think it's 376 foot or something tall. Yeah, it's even windier at the top. They wouldn't let me take the camera up with me. It's maybe just as well for language sake. But I don't feel like you'd have got up.
Very brave of German state to this. Gemma would be very proud of herself. are very proud of Gemma as well.
It was 2 people from the charity that were doing this for us, but I brought the phone as well. No.
Gemma's wearing blue jacket and Steve is obviously in the black. Behind the camera is Lizzie and Tears from CCLG fundraising team. Go Gemma!
Go Gemma! Woo! Well done!
Is there any chance they might decide to climb back up now? I think
That was
Gemma will
Andy.
be very relieved to be at the bottom.
But
Go Gemma! Woo!
around this point, I saw the floor and just bombed it down.
There she is, speeding down now, absolutely speeding down. There's the superstar. That is touchdown. And then there's Steve.
I'm glad they took it up because I literally kissed the ground.
So steady wins the race, as they say.
Excellent.
Yeah, we raised over £700, which will be over $800. So, yeah,
That
it was
looks
worth.
like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was once I got over the initial nerves of it and got going, but
I would do it.
it was having to let go. Like, it really took me everything inside to just let go. But again, being told your child has cancer has got to be the scariest thing I've ever been through. So everything else felt like nothing, really.
Did you feel
But
okay after that? Jim wants to know.
My legs felt a bit jelly-like. Like, it was weird. But yeah, it was fine. I think once I realized I'd done it and everything, it was like trying to calm down a little bit. But it was more before where I was really, really having to psych myself up to do it. And I'm not sure I'd have been able to do it actually without med because I really freaked out. Jim, would I do it again? Not anytime soon. Although we have just been offered to do a really long, over 1,000-meter zip wire that goes over 100 miles an hour. So
that also
we will
sounds
see.
fun.
It looks fun. You're sort of laid flat, facing forward, as though you're flying. We'll see. It might be a bit too soon after that to get sponsors and things, but we'll see.
All right. So that is fantastic. It's amazing. Gemma conquering her fear of heights, her phobia. We've done an episode on phobias. I think everybody has a healthy respect for heights, we'll say. Good evening, Craig. That Craig bloke. A ray of sunshine. Good to see you. And Jay Opera in the house as well. It's good to see everybody. I'm glad everybody's here. Also, a special thanks to Gemma for throwing together another fine intro. That was Owl City Fireflies, to give credit to the intro music for this week. I'm really digging that we can do some actual music now for the intro. We'll give credit where credit's due. Obviously, that gets filtered out for the YouTube and the Spotify. But for those that watch live, you get a special little musical introduction. Every week we'll have a new song for you. So tonight, ADHD. We're already about 20 minutes in. Well, 15 minutes in, and we haven't really talked about anything.
5 minutes in here, though, so it lets people get in. So
Yeah. So let's get down to business, huh? Let's get into ADHD. I don't think we've actually done a episode on ADHD. We've done ADHD, autism. We've talked ADHD with John McCabe.
yeah, we've not done one specifically on ADHD.
Yeah,
it was ADHD and other things.
So we need to get. This is big for me, and I've sprinkled it into many shows. I had a revelation or an epiphany, if you will, some time ago that it wasn't really my depression that I was masking. Sure, the pain and agony of depression, anxiety was playing a part in my drinking, but I think the main target or the main focus of my drinking was due to ADHD. When I am not on like a medication, I've talked about it on the show before. My head, my brain feels fuzzy, right? I just feel out of sorts. I don't feel right at all. I feel completely disconnected. I'm always hyperactive. So the ADHD is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder.
Mm-hmm.
And the constant moving around, the touching the face, the this, that, and the other. Well, first of all, my lower back is in a bit of pain, so you'll see me moving around a bit. I think I tweaked something on the job or something. I don't know, but I've been sleeping on it, and it's just I feel like I've been in a car accident, so I might be a little uncomfortable tonight, more so than normal. But just now, it's just a little lower back pain. Everything's good. I'm actually going to have a doctor look at it. But anywho, that's neither here nor there. That's a squirrel moment for you. I just went off on a tangent there, but we can bring it back because we're on some medication, which is important for ADHD.
Mm-hmm.
I can bring it back. I can write down a list of things that I want to talk about and make a clear focus list in my head about how this show's going to go versus some of the episodes where I don't really know what I'm talking about. And I don't want to say that like I'm not as spun up on it. So I don't know.
You're not as knowledgeable in that particular field. Yeah.
I don't know the exact direction we're going to go with the show. It kind of spins out of control a little bit, and there's some silence while I'm thinking, or radio silence. A show like tonight where I actually have some input, I know a lot about this because I live it. I can write down a clear list and go over points. And of course, we have our slides. Now, we do have a bunch of slides. So, Gemma, I'd like to jump right into those. And we'll just start with the dictionary that you have made here, the ADHD dictionary. There's 3 slides.
So I'm just warning you now that this is just for a little bit of lighthearted fun for those that have ADHD or those that can relate in any way. So I just wanted to point that out. It's not actually, there's a number 1 somewhere.
Yes, there we go.
Right, here we go. So, as I say, just a little bit of light-hearted fun. I've collected these from all over the internet. So, number 1, a to-don't list. So that is writing a list of writing a to-do list over and over again, but not doing any of it. Movering, when you're meant to be tidying up and you're just moving shit around all over. Yeah. An accident, when you fall asleep and wasn't meant to. Roomnesia, when you go into a room and forget why you went there. I do it all the time, every day. Shopping casket, when you're researching things to buy online, adding a load of stuff in your shopping basket, dopamine in full flow, and then it runs out and everything just stays there and you don't buy anything. A plancel, when you're making a plan and you know you're going to cancel it. Spurpus, a spur of the moment, I think that shouldn't be devised, a spur of the moment plan that then becomes your new purpose for that moment. And then hyperfocus, when hyperfocus kicks in, usually during the early hours of the morning, and you can't sleep, as you've got to do the thing that you thought of immediately.
Immediately is actually pretty spot on.
It wouldn't be the first time I'd got up at like 3 o'clock in the morning to just do something completely stupid. A snackcident, I've just had one of those. When you go to the cupboard or the fridge for a little snack and then eat everything in sight.
Yeah.
Literally just done that. Dopamining, when you've done something like watched a film or something like that, where you have to then go and heavily research that thing, and you end up going down all these rabbit holes and then spending way too much money online. Like usually, that'll work well for this, and justifying the purchases in your own head. Internet, when you've done too much peopling and you just need to lie down in a dark room alone and doom scroll.
Yeah.
Floor drobe, I have one of those. A floor space that is used for clothes.
I like that one.
Yeah, and then tidy up, when you're meant to be tidying up, you just sling everything in a bag and just shove it out of the way.
Floor drobe is funny because don't deny it, chat. We all have one. Somewhere in your house there's a floor drobe, right?
Oh my god, yeah.
My bedroom right now, me and the wife are we got to do some laundry right now. So actually the kids' rooms are cleaner than ours. So it's time to get on some laundry. I gotta get through a couple loads and we'll get that floor space back.
Yeah.
Ads, J Opera. I'm sorry about that. It's mandatory ads. They have to run at least a minute of ads for the affiliate programs. Anywho, the last one there too. What was it? Heidi Up. We talked about that last week, I think. How when somebody's coming over, we just shove everything into a closet. It's all relative information, or I mean, funny terms for things that we do. We definitely do these things. Now, Gemma and I were talking prior to showtime, and Gemma was telling me she's never been diagnosed with ADHD, but she's damn sure she has it. I have the diagnosis, and I think it is 100%. Well, it's not. I can't say 100%. I think it's 70% of the problem with my drinking. I was trying to fix that above depression and anxiety. Gemma, do you care to speak really quickly on how you feel from day to day? What makes you think you have it without the diagnosis? I mean, obviously you haven't been to the doctor to get the diagnosis, but
it's funny because in the slides it says that women are less likely to be diagnosed. But yeah, I think I just missed out with it all, but definitely stuff like I will start a million things and finish nothing. Like fill the washing machine, and then I'll see something and think, "Oh, I haven't done that." And I'll just go away and do that, and it's just constant. I finding things I haven't done and then not actually completing anything, and then constantly on the go, can't sit still. All of those things, like the dictionary thing, stuff, random stuff all over. There's just so many especially when I was going through some of the symptoms which we have on the slide, some of the things to look out for. Like I can relate with most of them.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, it's definitely one of those things to go in and talk to your general practitioner about. It was very simple. I think it broke down into a few questions that I just passed with flying colors. My doctor has known me since birth, and I mean, he just asked me a couple of questions. One of the most interesting questions, as I hear Penelope maneuvering, so I'm going to go check on her real quick. But one of the most interesting questions for the ADHD diagnosis was, do you wake up in the morning and your sheets are in a ball?
Oh, yeah.
Right. You go to sleep with your sheets normal and wake up with them in a ball. That's a symptom or a sign. So I found that very interesting. Anywho, let's go to another slide. Let me go check on baby girl. And we'll do 4 and 5 here, Gemma. If I'm not back, just go ahead and throw up 5.
Yeah, no worries. So these are the common myths and facts about ADHD. So, myth: all kids with ADHD are hyperactive. And then the fact that some children with ADHD are hyperactive, but many others with attention problems are not. Children, or anyone, I guess, with ADHD who are inattentive but not overly active may appear to be spacey and unmotivated. Number 2, kids with ADHD can never pay attention. So, children with ADHD are often able to concentrate on activities that they enjoy, but no matter how hard they try, they have trouble maintaining focus when the task at hand is boring or repetitive. Number 3, kids with ADHD could behave better if they wanted to. Children with ADHD may do their best to be good, but still be unable to sit still, stay quiet, or pay attention. They may appear disobedient, but that doesn't mean they're acting out on purpose. Let me just find the next one. There we go. Number 4, kids will eventually grow out of ADHD. So ADHD often continues into adulthood, so don't wait for your child to outgrow the problem. Treatment can help your child learn to manage and minimize the symptoms. As we said with when we were discussing it before, and autism and things, getting a diagnosis for anything, even mental health problems, earlier on is by far better than waiting. So number 5, there is no such medical condition as ADHD. ADHD is a medical disorder, not a condition of the child's will. A child with ADHD does not choose to misbehave. Number 6, medication is the best treatment option for ADHD. And medication might not be the best option for your child. Effective treatment for ADHD also includes education, behavior therapy, support at home and school, exercise, and proper nutrition. And number 7, having ADHD means the person is lazy or dumb. ADHD has nothing to do with a person's intellectual ability. Some highly intelligent people have ADHD.
I.e. me.
Yeah, there's loads of people.
Thank you.
Yeah, Of course. I was looking it up actually to see if I could find anybody well known that has ADHD, but it's not very.
It doesn't have to be a
Like,
celebrity.
yeah.
It just says highly intellectual, i.e. me.
Yeah. Why not?
No. So, myths, facts, we talk about them a good bit on any topic that we do an episode on. They're good to compare. I like looking at what people are perceiving, the cognitive distortions, or the common misconceptions of what it is versus the truths. And jumping back a slide, kids with ADHD can never pay attention. That was the thing, or that was the what's the word for it, Gemma? The help me, Rhonda.
I'm trying to think what you mean.
The maxim, the motif. That was the head thing. The
Oh yeah, most people think that if you've got ADHD, you can't pay attention. Yeah.
Kids with what did it say again? Sorry, throw it back up. Kids with ADHD can never pay attention. That right there was the big ticket item, and it's a myth. It's just not true. There's a lot of great medications, and they're doing good work with ADHD as it becomes more pronounced or known. The research is being done. I feel like there is also kind of a catch where kids are. It is the ADHD medicine is a controlled, dangerous substance, and is regulated. So it is a drug. So it can be abused. It is a class something narcotic. Is it a narcotic? It's an amphetamine. Is how they treat ADHD. Amphetamine.
The only one I know of is Ritalin.
Yeah, Ritalin, Vyvanse, Adderall, all of those are all amphetamines. So essentially meth, we're not smoking crystal meth, but it is amphetamine. It is the same class. One way to look at it is, and I've talked about this with folks before. There's a fine line. You have to find the right dosage for your body. Now, it can be a tricky or slippery slope. You can get too much, and then you're just overly focused, like it's too much. So there's a fine line in the dosing of your ADHD meds. If you what you want it to do is focus you, so you can sit down, write down a list, get shit done, and move forward with your day. And as I've explained it to other people, if you're on a higher dose or too much or overdose, you can feel like you want to pick up all the dog shit in the neighborhood. That's how it breaks down. You go from, hey, let's get this done today, to, hey, I want to pick up all the dog shit in the neighborhood. So you got to be very careful with this. It is an amphetamine. It's not something to be messed with or overdosed or play too much with. Anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there, that because I am on Adderall, and I know that if it took a little bit of playing around to get the right dosage. I felt like
I know when I worked in the schools. I know when I worked in the schools, and there was a child I worked with that was on. Well, they just started Ritalin, and I don't know whether it was the dosage that was too high, but they went from being very, very hyperactive to like a complete zombie. And until they got the dose right, you know, it takes a lot of messing around to get it right. But when it's right, then it's right. But it's why it's very important to make sure you get it prescribed by a professional in that field.
Yes. Let's see, where were we? Let's go to slide number 8.
Yeah. Okay, so another myth. Everyone has a little ADHD. So everyone can be forgetful or distracted sometimes, but the vast majority of people, so in the region of 90 to 95%, do not have ADHD. The symptoms of ADHD exist within the continuum of typical human behavior. The average age of ADHD diagnosis is 7. Yeah. Did you skip one? Okay, yeah, cool. People with ADHD can display many disruptive behaviors, including forgetfulness, distraction, impulsivity, and an inability to focus. People with ADHD exhibit these behaviors with a greater intensity, severity, and I can't even pronounce that.
Chronicity.
That's it. I just
Chronicity.
This is a language lesson for me again. Then people without ADHD, there's just certain words I just cannot get out of my mouth. The structure, volume, chemical activity, and communication in pathways in the brains of people with ADHD are different to those without ADHD. Those that are, we discussed it briefly last time, those people that don't have ADHD are referred to as neurotypical. So that's, if you ever see neurotypical anywhere, that means somebody without ADHD. Neurotypical as in typical, alike the majority. Right. Do you want to put the other one back on?
Yep, sorry, I was answering question in chat.
So the average age of ADHD diagnosis is 7, usually. Age when the symptoms of ADHD typically first appear is between 3 and 6 years old. Again, typically, but not with everyone. 6.1% of American children are being treated for ADHD with medication, and 42% increase in ADHD diagnosis over the past 8 years. But I feel like that's more because it's becoming more common and more well known and more,
Sure.
you know, that people are more aware of it rather than more kids are just being born with it. I feel like it's probably the same amount of people that have been born with it. It's just it wasn't as well recognized.
It's kind of taken at least here in the States, I can't speak for the UK, Gemma, but the average age when I was growing up in the 90s, so I was born in 87. I spent my grade school years, I guess, in the 90s and early 2000s. The average age was young. 7, I would say, is about right for ADHD or ADD at the time diagnosis.
I'd say it's higher. Yeah.
And then we noticed a spike in from 2005 to, we'll say, it could even still be today to present. There's been a spike in the college kids using it for studying, cramming, for finals, all that. And then we're trending back downwards. It is becoming a childhood diagnosis again. I'm seeing it a lot in kids these days. Miss Cooney says, I had to stop my Ritalin because my hair was falling out. I'm hoping to start the other slow-acting med. Good to see you. Welcome to the show. Moving forward, Gemma, facts about ADHD.
Yeah. So facts about ADHD, I'm just going to bring that up on my phone so I can see it a little bit better. So we may need time to calm down in a safe space or time out of the classroom to be on our own, or just not necessarily classroom, but just anywhere, depending on the age. We like to receive praise. Well done. Great job. Doesn't everybody though? Like, you know, we like opportunities to lead groups and games. Please tell us if something will change in the school day. Definitely people with ADHD, I find, like routines. If there's going to be a big change in what's going on and it's not planned, sometimes they can get very upset, very flustered with that. We enjoy active learning. We need simple instructions. Be patient with us and be fair and clear with us.
We like to receive praise. I'm not sure that, well, I guess I could fall under that.
Yeah. I think everybody does
it is
that.
nice
Obviously, you know.
It's nice to get noticed, but
Yeah.
I don't need an award ceremony.
Oh yeah. Definitely, I think those vary from person to
Just
person.
hey, good job out there is fine for me. I am an active learner. I need to get out there and do stuff. Sitting down and learning on a whiteboard is not my cup of tea. We may need time to calm down in a safe space. All right, let's move on to ADHD versus depression.
Yeah, so I thought this was a good one, and there's a way of
It's not Monday, by the way.
The two. Monday? Oh, yeah, it's just a slide though. But yeah, okay. So ADHD, mood lability, difficulty regulating attention and focus, craves novelty and new experiences, hyperactivity and impulsivity, and hyperfocus. On the depression side, depressed mood, sad, empty, hopeless, loss of pleasure, may withdraw from people and activities that once provided pleasure and meaning, feelings of worthlessness and excessive guilt, feeling physically slowed down. And then in the middle, the things that overlap between ADHD and depression, which is why it can make it trickier to diagnose sometimes. So sleep issues, appetite changes, self-esteem impacted, oh my God, I've picked all the ones with the words tonight. Nope, won't come out.
Efficacy.
Yeah, another one. Oh my God, seriously. Impacted. Psychomotor agitation. Oh my God, I should check these.
Psychomotor.
So, yeah, see.
Agitation.
Should I just say I'm British? I pronounce it different. Negative beliefs and oh my God, now I can't speak. Negative beliefs about self and world, difficulty with focus and concentration, higher rates of substance abuse, time perception impacted, higher rates of GI issues, rejection sensitivity, muscle tension, restlessness, irritability, and indecision.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of everything that we all feel
Oh yeah,
in the middle.
definitely. Yeah, definitely. I think that's why it makes it harder sometimes to diagnose between them, especially if you've already got depression. But as I say, when I said about the signs and things going through, I think a lot of those I can relate to, that I feel aren't just related to my depression. But when you look at some of the other slides, there's more on there as well. Okay,
Right.
so this is recognizing the types of ADHD and the symptoms. So type 1 ADHD, inattention without hyperactivity. So I know they used to have ADD and ADHD, but now it all comes under ADHD.
Yeah, they
Even
got
if
rid of the ADD.
hyperactivity isn't a thing, they now have the subtypes of it, which is type 1 ADHD, so inattention without the hyperactivity. So the symptoms are easily distracted, trouble paying attention, trouble following directions, slow to process information, shy or withdrawn behavior, seems disorganized or careless, and trouble following through with tasks. Type 2 ADHD, hyperactivity without inattention. So the symptoms of this are overactive, restlessness, excessive talking, frequent interruptions, difficulty waiting turns, impulsive speech and actions, and loud interactions with others. And then type 3 ADHD is a combination, so a combination of them both. And the symptoms is, if you have the combination type, it means that your symptoms don't exclusively fall within the inattention or hyperactive impulsive behavior. Instead, a combination of symptoms from both of the categories are exhibited.
Let me see if I can throw the next one up really fast. Yeah, there. Right there.
Yeah. So ADHD gender differences. So this I found interesting, how it affects men and women differently. So on the female side, onset at or after puberty, less likely to be diagnosed, internalizing behaviors, inattentiveness, more difficult to identify, show distress by crying, sadness, mood, impatience, complained about but not as often seen behaviorally, greater likelihood for depressive anxiety disorders, shame and shyness in common, more empathetic, hormonal fluctuations can significantly affect the symptoms. And then the male side, onset before puberty, more likely to be diagnosed, externalizing behaviors, inattentiveness easier to identify, show distress through agitation, impatience shown through aggression and hostility, higher rates of substance abuse disorders, shame and shyness less common, and less empathic. Oh my goodness. My mouth's not working. Empathic. Oh dear.
Empathic.
Yeah.
So I feel like that list right there, my wife would describe me.
Yeah.
Um,
There was this thing for years though where everybody just believed that it was ADHD was just boys, and a lot of people still do, and it's not. But I think that's why males are more likely to be diagnosed, because if they display any of the signs of ADHD, then they automatically assume ADHD.
I show distress through agitation.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. A lot of these are hitting
Mm-hmm.
pretty
Yeah.
good.
So
for me.
Mhm.
What do you feel about the female side?
Yeah, same. Definitely with the distress, mood, crying, get very upset, very depressed, anxiety, shy. I've always been very quite shy, a lot of shame, very empathic to others, but not to myself. Definitely lots and lots of things on there.
So we've talked about this last slide before.
Yeah.
Let's throw it back up here. You may recognize this slide. ADHD, autism.
Yeah. So
We'd be remiss to not talk about it again in this episode. Let's
yeah.
run down.
So ADHD side craves novelty and new experiences, difficulty regulating attention and higher rates of focus, difficulty reading social cues due to focus and attention issues, hyperactivity and impulsivity, inhibition difficulties, autism, craves familiarity and routine, self-soothe through repetitive behaviors and routines, difficulty reading holistic social cues intuitively. There's some right words in here. Strict adherence to routines. And then in between them both, stimming, sensory issues, interoception issues, impulse control difficulties, interest-based nervous system, emotion regulation difficulties, higher rates of substance abuse, suicide, depression, eating disorders, anxiety, bipolar, OCD, ND, communication patterns, so info dumping, connecting overshared interests, values, contexts, and connects ideas, webbed interconnected thought pattern, executive functioning difficulties, rejection sensitivity dysphoria, increased risk of victimization, special interests and passions, task switching difficulties, difference in eye contact, social differences, and passionate focus.
Yeah. We've
So a lot that's in between them both. An awful lot.
gone over this one before.
Mm-hmm.
But it's important to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of similarities between ADHD and autism.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite interesting. But anywho,
I feel like that's something that you could misdiagnose, like really easily, because of the similarities between the two.
the problem with ADHD. So here is my hot take for the night. This is a silent killer. Like, this ADHD is destroying me.
Mm.
Or it was. I feel like everything's under control now, but it was the reason that I was drinking or trying to balance life out. Sure, we had depression, we had anxiety, we had everything, but just trying to get that brain functionality, just trying to get that fuzziness to go away, damn near killed me. Do we call ADHD a fatal affliction or disease? Or
Don't know, I guess. I mean, were you diagnosed with ADHD before you started drinking, or did that come after?
Oh, I was diagnosed early, yeah.
Okay.
I was diagnosed probably
I just wondered
17,
if
16,
you had I just wondered if you'd started drinking before the diagnosis, not knowing what was going on, or if you knew about the ADHD before you started drinking.
Can we call ADHD a fatal disease, or it's not a disease? What the hell are we calling it? Affliction.
Mm. I mean, I feel like it could be, because when I've been doing in my course
Yeah.
suicide and things, it does say that those with things like ADHD are again at increased risk of like suicide and self-harm because of it.
I want my brain to be right.
Mm-hmm.
My brain is not right.
And it can be more frustrating without the diagnosis, having to fight for it, thinking there's something wrong with you. And then sometimes having that label attached to you as well. Because I know that I've known for a long time that there was a possibility of it, but I was always very keen not to be labeled with it because of the stigma attached to it.
Sure.
As well. I think people are becoming more aware of it now, and there is less of a stigma than there was when I was maybe at school. But there's still very much a stigma around it all, and around mental health and ADHD. And I feel like if you went to apply for a job, say, they're not meant to discriminate. But I feel like if you said you had ADHD, they might be more inclined to think about giving you that job on that basis. I'm not saying that people would, and I'm not saying they're going to discriminate, but it happens. It definitely happens still.
It happens all the time.
Yeah, discrimination is still very real, unfortunately, and it's still constantly going on. And I don't think, unfortunately, we'll ever see a world where there isn't any, no matter what it's about.
Well, I don't know if I got my hot take across, but it's all my hot take is on the medicine.
Mm.
We're not doing enough to I don't know how I want to word this. It's a fight to get it.
Mm. Very much.
Now it's in a national, at least in the States, it's in a national shortage. So I got to bounce from Vyvanse, from Adderall to Vyvanse to.
Mm-hmm.
So they're effing around with my mental health in that way.
Oh, so you are being affected with the medication? Because over here they said there was a shortage, but anybody that's already taking it won't suffer.
Yeah, we have a shortage, a nationwide shortage of ADHD medicine. I think it's on the up. I think we're fixing it, but that's not something to mess around with.
No.
Because people need this is one of those cases where people need their medicine. They need their medicine. Quite simply. It sucks to live without knowing what life is supposed to be. Like when I take my medicine in the morning and everything balances out and feels right. And it's fucked up that I have to say that. Like I can't just wake up and everything's fine. Why is that the case? However, that's just the cards I was dealt, and I'm working with it. But people rely on that medicine, and it's just a damn shame that it's in back order or shortage, nationwide shortage. It's like saying to Jim or you, Gemma, sorry, your chemotherapy is in back order. We can't.
Mm-hmm.
You know what the fuck?
Oh yeah. Very much.
How do you do that?
I've had it with my pain medications recently. They couldn't get it, and it's like, thankfully they did. But had I not have been given it, I would have massively withdrawn. And yeah, you can't just mess with people's lives like that. That's messed up, and it's really fucked up that people have to rely on medications just to get by day to day for whatever reason. And you go on this whole thing of, why me? Why do I have to have this? Why does my brain have to be fucked up? Why do I have to? And there's that, like, and then when they're messing with your meds and you can't get it, that's going to affect your mental health even more and your symptoms even more and exacerbate things to the point where, yeah, it's messed up.
That's my hot take for the evening. ADHD is something we will revisit from time to time. It is near and dear to me. We just have to do better. The healthcare system is, I've always felt good with our healthcare system. I've never had a problem with it until you're messing with my brain now.
Mm-hmm.
The nationwide shortage of ADHD medicine, and I don't know. It wasn't even a influx of people. I know this has become a buzzword. It has become a trend to get on Adderall, and everybody has ADHD and blah blah blah. That's not even the culprit. From what I understand, it was a money thing. Now, come on. It was a money thing.
It usually is. That's the thing.
And that's just fucking terrible.
Oh yeah, when
I need this medicine so I don't, go out and.
What I don't understand, when there's a medicine or a drug out there that can make someone's life better, why should it all boil down to money, regardless of what it is? If they have it, why should it be a lottery on who gets it based on money? Like,
good hot take. Thank you, Ray.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever understand it, but it is money talks. Money talks.
Money. All right. Well, let's community calendar it up and send it off so I can feed this child of mine. Ladies and gentlemen, I was absent last week, even though I told you I would be there. Catalyst tonight, Wednesday. Jim in Chicagoland. He's been here with us all night. 11 p.m. tonight. I was absent. I fell asleep. I got some good sleep.
Was it an accident?
I got some good sleep last. Penelope went to bed and I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh.
You have to sleep when she does. That's the thing.
So I should be there tonight because her nap schedule's a little off.
Yeah.
And don't forget to check out Ray as well. Ray is in the audience as well. He's one of my mods, or our mods.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Gemma. Gemma, please.
I'll be live on Saturday at 7 UK, 2 p.m. Eastern with Med. We're going to be doing some cooking or baking. We haven't even decided what we're making yet. It's one of the broadcast train things, but we're going to be doing some other stuff as well. We are, whatever, it's happening. Here we go.
And Jim is saying, let's talk ADHD. I want to go up there. Let's talk ADHD. Continuing the chat. ADHD tonight on Catalyst, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 10 p.m. gym time. That's what, 2 p.m. your time? 3 p.m.
3. I will almost certainly be asleep. I have to get Thomas up for 7.
It's a good subject, Jim. Everybody can kind of relate, you know. We all have a little bit of a touch of it, you know. You start something and you get on to another thing. But anyway, we're gonna get on out of here. I gotta feed Penelope, and then I'll see everybody at Catalyst. Everybody good? Gemma,
Yeah.
All right. Let's get on out of here. See you guys.
Bye.